What is up? Welcome to Talking Touchdowns, brought to you by Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Astaire, joined today by Titletown, and we will be bringing in Tyler, and we will be bringing in Joey Work. But if you haven't watched the show before, basically we go over what we saw yesterday, give our victory laps, take our L's, give out our hot takes, and then we'll move into previewing tonight's game. Featuring the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. Like the video for us, subscribe to the channel, give us that thumbs up. Title, how did you give yesterday's NFL Week 3 Sunday? Did you give it a thumbs up? How were you feeling?
Well, it's always a thumbs up if you make some money. I made some money. It could have been I made an awful swap. I'm not even going to get into it. It'll make me upset. So could have been a really good Sunday. Instead, it was all right. Anytime, even break even, lose a little bit, that's fine on a Sunday. So it wasn't a complete disaster. As far as the games and the entertainment wise, I don't think it was that great of a Sunday. I mean, my Packers pulled it out, which was nice. But yeah, everyone is thinking probably about yesterday's Sunday night game. That just headlined everything. I mean, people are going to forget about the noon games. They're going to forget about the 3:05 games because the Island game was as bad as it gets. But we'll get to that, of course. So excited to dive in, talk about it. Like we said, always this show is fun because we recap what happened, whereas all the other shows we talk about, they're always looking forward to next week. So excited to dive in, talk about it.
Sounds good. And with the New York Giants on primetime, it was time for us to bring in a special guest, Joey. So kind of you for taking a break from crushing MLB. Guys, if you haven't been tailing Joey in the Major League Baseball, I don't know what you're doing. Head on over to runpuresports.com. Use that promo code GetBets. Joey, how is everything going with you?
Good. Happy to be here. Happy Monday. You know what it means. More money. New week, more money. I'm excited. Giants play Monday Night Football. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than this. Versus the Cowgirls. I love it. Woo! And I had my coffee ready. There's nothing left, so I'm ready to roll.
All right, he's fired up. I had some coffee too and some Rockstar. We're really going to be fired up today. Let's dive right in, and we'll bring Tyler in as soon as he gets here. The Baltimore Ravens pull it out against the New England Patriots. One of the games I did get right, Title. We nailed that in the NFL playbook. Of course, the playbook is available on runpuresports.com. But we had this game almost perfect. Could have gone another way, though. A couple big plays there from the Ravens defense, but there's nothing bad you can say about Lamar. Another fantastic performance from him, and the Ravens get the win. What were your thoughts on the Patriots and the Ravens? And also talk about the impact with Mac Jones most likely to be missing some time.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens got to pay the man, that's for sure. Lamar is looking like a total stud. Great game. I mean, like you said, though, like Nelson Aguilar doesn't fumble right there. This game could have been different. Mac Jones kept him in it. Looks like he's going to be out, though. I mean, they're traveling to Green Bay next weekend, which is nice for Green Bay. Brian Hoyer, I don't think he's going to get the job done. So, yeah, we'll see with Mac Jones. Baltimore did what they had to do. Lamar's looking great. Mark Andrews, DFS monster right now. And, yeah, for the Patriots, Devontae Parker, finally. I mean, it just took Jacoby Myers to be ruled out, and he finally stepped up with a monster game that they expected out of him. It's a good football game. I did not expect 37-26 from him. Both the offense played well. Baltimore made stops when they had to, so good game, good win for Baltimore.
Joe, your thoughts on the Ravens and the Patriots?
I mean, this bullshit narrative like, oh, Bill Belichick isn't going to let Lamar beat him. Well, guess what happened, guys? That happened exactly, all right? So I personally was on the Ravens. I mean, Mac Jones is not that good. He played decent in the game, don't get me wrong. Who's the backup? Brian Hoyer, you said?
Yeah.
It might be Bailey Zappi.
Oh, Bailey Zapp. Yeah.
You think he's going to get it over Hoyer?
Probably not based on Belichick, but he may, you never know. They did draft him. But God bless this team now. They're definitely in for some trouble. Shout out to Chad, all right, Richie Smalls, Andrew J, Matty Ice. Appreciate you all. But yeah, God bless. I think it's going to be a long season for Patriot fans.
Yeah, boy. Well, they need to experience it like the rest of us. It's been a long 20 years for Raiders fans, but we'll get into that in a bit. Let me just take my biggest L of Week 3 right now. Well, Title's going to argue it's coming up later, but
it's definitely not your biggest L.
For me, it was right now because you guys warned me. The panel warned me and the chat warned me about that Miami weather. And I said, no, Josh Allen and the Bills are out here busting my model, just destroying teams, looking far and away. They're going to get it done. And that was simply a bad handicap on my part. Don't know if I'm ready to crown the Dolphins yet because they won't get that heat advantage year round, but they took advantage yesterday and they moved to first place in their division. Time to give the Dolphins their props title, or should we still hold off a little bit?
No, I mean, we're giving them the props after week 1, I thought. I mean, when you get Tyreek there, you have Waddle, they have the explosiveness. Defense is a little better. I mean, they got a great coach. At least I think he's a good coach, especially comparing to all these other donkeys out there. I mean, I thought they were legit after week 1. I mean, Super Bowl contenders and stuff, hold your horses on that, but they got a good football team, no doubt. I just am wondering how Tua passed concussion protocols. I'm very interested. I know there's going to be an investigation and all that in there. So spread, I mean, I don't think you have to take a massive L. I mean, you were looking good for a while. Obviously it didn't turn out, but it was a good football game. 2 good teams. The Heat definitely, Dawson Knox, Diggs, there's a lot of cramping and stuff going on. So it definitely got to him, but it was a good game to watch. I enjoyed it.
Joey, what'd you think?
Yeah, I was very surprised that they let Tua go back into the game. I know they're doing an investigation on that because the guy looked severely concussed. He couldn't even walk, but he did go back into the game and they won the game. Again, I thought the number was awfully short for the Dolphins, thinking like, why are the Bills only laying 5.5? Obviously got to bet down to 4.5. I'm like, this is definitely Dolphins side. Dolphins did play a great game at home. God bless them. I do think the Bills are the better team. We'll see that long term, but that game, obviously Josh Allen didn't play his best. He looked a little shaky there. More teams are going to try to get to him as they did. So it should be fun season. I do think the Bills would likely still win this division. Don't get me wrong. But the Dolphins are definitely a contender, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing, too, before halftime, Josh Allen bobbling it and then throwing it to Diggs instead of the spike and the field goal. I mean, that changed a bunch.
Yep. That was great.
You know what I love about the NFL title? Let me try and just victory lap a different take. I always say the NBA season's too long, right? Did you see Ken Dorsey in the box after the game? You'll never get that in an NBA game. They're worried about what club they're going to afterwards in the regular season. It's week 3, and the guy's destroying his box.
What happened at the end of that video? Did someone cover up the camera, or did he throw something that had covered the camera? It looked like someone went and covered. I think somebody went and covered the camera so you couldn't see the rest of it.
That's probably
right. I saw it. I was watching it live
off their Twitter account.
Yeah, I was watching it live, and I was like, "What just happened? What just happened?" That was awesome, though.
Yeah. See, there's nothing like intensity and needing to win the games early in the season. Adam Silver, take notes. Tyler, you got here just in time. I was giving you credit because I took the L. You guys had Miami. You said the Heat was going to matter. I poo-pooed it. I'm out here thinking I'm the Sacramento tough guy, and I can play through sweat. These guys can too. That was not the case. Take your victory lap on the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really going to take much of a victory lap when they almost blew it when they punted the ball off their own guy's ass. I mean, they gave Buffalo every chance in the world to steal that game. And I don't know how Tua came back in the game when they tried to say that was a back injury. I've never seen a human being stumble like that from a back injury. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, we were talking. There's no way that was a back injury.
You know what? I was on the Bills, and I don't even care. You know what? When I grew up, concussion protocol was like, hey, kid, you got your bell rung. Take a glass of water, get a cup of water, sit out of play, and get back in there. Right? That was concussion protocol. So
it's different time now, spread.
I was going to say, then make it for everyone like that. Like,
that's not the reason I lost my bet.
It's a much different time.
I will say, spread, I think it is. If it was Teddy Bridgewater, if it was Bridgewater the whole second half, I think you would have won that bet.
Which one's worse, him coming back in the game or T. Higgins? Because they were both concussed.
No, T. Higgins, after when the trainers came up to him and stuff, he said, like, I'm fine. Like, you could tell definitely the Tua side for sure.
Yeah, let's not forget about that butt punt in that game. That was pretty funny. I actually think that worked out because they would have had short field, likely, go down, possibly score a touchdown. They were already in field goal range, so I think that worked out.
Yeah, it's almost like taking a safety instead of throwing a pick six, but we will get to that. The Lions fall short against the Vikings, but they do cover the spread. So, hey, the model was wrong there, Tyler. We thought the Vikings were going to blow them out. This Lions team, they got a great offensive line. And when you have a good offensive line, it travels, and you're going to be able to keep games close. I like what they're doing in Detroit, even though they got the loss. And Minnesota gets it done with another Disappointing performance from Justin Jefferson, but I'm sure he'll take the W. Don't want to be like Devontae Adams, taking all these L's trying to be the best receiver in the league. So what did you think of the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins looks like he might be washed. He doesn't look
sucks.
all that good.
He
Yeah.
sucks.
I mean, that was in his normal comfort zone, too. That was 1 p.m., so he should have been playing his best game. Detroit really bracket covered Justin Jefferson really well, which forced him to go to Thielen and Osborne a lot more. And then Dalvin Cook has what they say was an unfixable shoulder problem. He's not wearing the brace, and he dislocates his shoulder again. So I think that's a big hit for that team. If they're going to have the blueprint to slow down Jefferson also, like this team, I don't think it's going to be much of a threat come playoff time, if they even get there.
Joey, what do you think of the Vikings and the Lions?
Yeah, Dalvin Cook got hurt too, right?
Yeah.
So Mattison's now in. I mean, how bad has Kirk Cousins been this year? His QBR the last 2 games, 21.6. 2 games ago, last game yesterday was 41.6. I mean, the guy stinks. He completed how many passes? 24 or 41 passes? This team is so overrated. It's not even funny. I'm sorry, JJ, but this team is overrated. The Lions suck. You should have lost this game to the Lions at home, coming off of a shitty game the game before. They beat the Packers the first game of the week. That's the only game they really won. I mean, we're counting this game obviously as a win versus a shitty Lions team at home. I mean, this team is severely overrated, I think, as of right now. Obviously, they can get better throughout the year, but I personally, I don't think this division's very good. Past Green Bay played okay, I guess, versus Tampa Bay, who has their offense looked absolutely terrible yesterday as well. So, I mean, if Dalvin's out for a while, they got Mattison is going to be the starting running back. If they stop the run, force it into Kirk Cousins, force him to win some games, they're going to be in for some trouble. That's for sure.
Title, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking Dalvin injury. At least they got Madison for DFS, but you go to the other side of the ball, DeAndre Swift and his shoulder, he could be out for a little bit. His ankle was beat up early. I mean, he's just totally beat up. Thankfully for them, though, they got Jamal Williams. So DFS-wise, definitely monitored Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Swift in the coming weeks. Thankfully, they got really good backups. Jamal's a workhorse back, or Madison's a workhorse back. I mean, we don't see too many workhorse backs in the league right now. Running backs have been awful. So definitely 2 spots to monitor.
All right, let's move on. The Bengals beat the Jets. There wasn't really much to take away from that game. Bengals get back on track. Jets are who we thought they were. Anything on that one, Tyler?
Nah, I ain't got much on that one.
It's kind of what we expected,
Yeah.
Joey. I mean, any hot takes there? I know that's your New York rival team, but I mean, you were getting mad on me for kicking Trey Lance when they're down. That's kind of how I am on talking about the Jets right now, right? I don't want to get that reputation.
Yeah, there's no rival between the Jets and the Giants. That's for sure. At least as it coming from a Giants fan. Jets fans probably don't like us because, they're our little brother, basically. I never seen them win anything, really. So, I mean, basically the only thing I take away here is Breece Hall got a lot more action this week. They kept dumping it down to him. He took all the receptions away from basically Michael Carter. They almost were hand in hand in rushing attempts as well. So I do expect, maybe on DFSN, Breece Hall is taking over more reps.
Title, what do you think?
Yeah, I had 2 takeaways. One was that Joey Work just said. Breece Hall outsnapped him by a couple snaps too. Carter was in week 1 and 2, so look for that. Breece Hall, I would not be surprised if he starts being the 60-40, 65-35, important for DFS. And then, Joe Mixon, the other one, 12 for 24 on the ground. He just has no offensive line to block for him. The nut spot against the Jets, the best script you can ask for, and he still doesn't get there. So big concerns for Joe Mixon.
Yeah, interesting to see how that turns out. The Texans, another game, not really too much to talk about, but don't look now. Chicago Bears are 2-1. Tyler, what do we do? Is this team overvalued? How do we approach the Bears from here on out?
Keep fading them. I mean, it took a Roquan Smith interception in the end to win them the game. I think Fields had, 106 passing yards? Your quarterback's throwing for 106-yard spread and you managed to win a few games. Kudos to you, but it ain't going to keep working out the rest of the year. So I'm just going to keep fading them.
Tyler's like Zion Williamson, just dunking on these Ohio State quarterbacks. Joey, what were your thoughts on the Texans and the Bears?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Tyler. I mean, you stop the run for the Bears, they're in for some trouble. This guy, they only threw the ball 17 times. They ran the ball, 40 times they ran the ball. Mm-hmm. 106 yards, QBR rating 27. What are we doing here? I think both teams stink, but, I think Longneck will slowly get better throughout the year. Obviously, He's young, learning the position. He doesn't really have many weapons. So I do think the Texans long-term likely be better than the Bears. But again, as I mentioned earlier, I do think the Bears division is pretty garbage. So the Bears could probably, win some division games, beat the Vikings potentially at home, beat the Lions. So they're a toss-up team though.
Who's better, Joey, the Lions or the Bears? I say the Lions by a mile.
It depends on who the home team is. It depends on who the home team is. Give me the Lions at home. Give me the Bears at home.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Title, have I found my new Jimmy G? Have I found a guy that's going to be absolutely terrible but get me wins? What's up with Justin Fields and the Bears?
Well, we'll get to Jimmy G. Don't get me started already. But as far, another takeaway, yeah, both teams stink. How you win a game when your quarterback throws for 106 yards on 17 attempts, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns is crazy. But what to monitor in DFS, Dave Montgomery left early. Khalil Herbert's a complete stud. So if he's out for any time, Herbert gets all the work. Another running back I'll have a lot of interest in.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. Are they already priced for next week, or is Khalil Herbert priced appropriately?
I have not looked. But even if I don't know who they play or any of that, but he could literally be 6,500, 7K. I mean, we see all these top tier running backs right now, Joe Mixon, all these guys, even CMC with the donkey coach, it just runs him up the middle the whole time. Like Khalil Herbert's a stud. Like he's actually good. So whatever his price is probably a little too low if Montgomery misses.
All right, let's move on to the L that I refused to take, and that was my pick of the Chiefs over the Colts. I don't know what's worse than concussion protocol, but I think it's got to be taunting. I mean, you got to be kidding me. You have to absolutely be kidding me. And then that fourth down call, if you're going to go for it on 4th and 7, why don't you have Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball for you? Just so many mistakes that allowed the Colts to take advantage of it. Give the Colts credit, but still, I'll keep taking that pick over and over again. It took a major confluence of 5 or 6 different things for the Colts to be able to squeak that out. I still don't believe in Indy, and Jacksonville's going to be making a case that they're the best team in the AFC South after looking at yesterday. But hey, I don't get any money. I can't spend that at the grocery store. I tried to go in and buy some groceries with a taunting penalty, and it just didn't work. So I'm sitting here with no food because of the Chiefs. What do you think, Tyler? Am I wrong to deny that L and try and keep talking my way out of this? I was on the right side.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but it's it was that spot where the Colts were bound to pick up a win here eventually. 0-2 teams fighting in week 3. The line was short. It screamed trap, and we stepped on the bear trap and still got hit with it. So it's got to take our L there.
Yeah, what do you think, Joey? Do I take the L here, or can I claim I was on the right side?
I mean,
taunting? Yeah. You out of anyone should know that's some BS, a whole new world. I don't like this new world. Taunting? Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's a bunch of baloney. I mean, but Kansas City, how many times they rushed the ball? 23 times, 58 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 7 rushes, 0 yards. I mean, what are we doing? Obviously, if you can't run the ball, obviously Mahomes is good, but what happened there at the end? First off, they did that fake freaking field goal bullshit. And then they missed the field goal, another one, a chip shot. I think it was 40-something yards, 42 yards or something. They missed it. Those are the last 2. It's a 7-point game. If they make both, if they even kick both field goals, make them both, they win this game. The Chiefs didn't want this game. At the end of they didn't want it. They gave that one away. Good for the Colts. They win a game. Do I trust the Colts? Absolutely not. You stop Johnny Taylor, and you got a skeleton back there at quarterback who reminds me of Eli Manning. At the end of his career, couldn't move. The guy couldn't move. Can't move. Stands back there, can't move. So, I mean, I think the Colts are a fraud. God bless them. They won a game. They eliminated a lot of people in my Survivor League, so I'm happy about that. Thank you. But on to the next week.
Title, I felt like the gambling gods were taunting me. What were your takeaways from the Chiefs and the Colts?
Well, there was a lot of sharp people on the Colts before the game even started. So, I don't know. The taunting, ridiculous. Andy Reid, you're better than that. You costed this team the win. I mean, that was an awful fake field goal. Like you said, you're going for it. Get Patrick Mahomes out there, but you weren't catching him off guard. That was awful by him. A missed field goal. Matt Ryan beat Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, that's not a good look right now for the Chiefs. So I don't know. I don't know what else you want me to say, Spread.
Jonathan Taylor, you're going to keep trying to roster him, or you've been disappointed with his output as the highest paid guy on the board usually?
No, I drafted 455 teams fantasy-wise in best ball, and I have 0 Jonathan Taylor, so that's not changing. I mean, when Matt Ryan's your quarterback, it's tough to run the football.
All right. I like that. That's a great simplistic analysis. I mean, anyone can repeat that and think about that when they're making their lineups this week. All right, let's talk about my own personal hell, and that's Josh McDaniels and the Las Vegas Raiders. Once again, coming up short. Darren Waller has not looked good since the beginning of last year. Devontae Adams not getting targets. The Titans getting it done. Tyler, I'm pretty down on this Raiders team. I know they'll go on one little run at one point during the year, but overall it's going to be too little too late. Probably, cost them their season yesterday. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, their season's probably over. They were the team I thought would be able to right the ship right there and maybe still get a wild card spot. But, I mean, at this point, Spread, how do you feel about just blowing it up? You let Derek Carr go in the offseason, you trade him to say a team like Pittsburgh, it needs him. And
Spread wants that.
Yeah, and then you go, because this team might be drafting top 5.
What do you do? Just trade Devontae back to Green Bay?
No, you keep him.
Yes.
Of course, they need him, but
I don't think that he'll go for that.
He's not going back to Green Bay.
No, he'll stay.
No, I'm just saying I don't think he'll go for trading Carr either.
I mean, they might. If they can get a top 5 pick and they can get one of these new quarterbacks.
They're not getting a top 5 pick for him. They'd be lucky getting a top 5 round pick.
They probably won't, just because they just moved to Vegas. I don't know. They need somebody to go there. I think they just leave it as is. They just keep losing. They leave the team as is. They need some people. They need to still fill the seats. Even if they lose, they still need to fill the seats.
Don't most of the fans for these games come from out of town though? It's
I'm
like
sure
a weekend visit, for their team.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's not a lot of Vegas Raider fans that live in Vegas.
But LA is only 3 hours away, and people around me love going down there for the weekend. They think it's better than going to Oakland.
They get to lose some money at the casino.
Yeah.
They get a nice.
What would you rather do? Drive to Oakland on this terrible I-80 traffic, or just
go to Vegas
and get drunk and walk to the stadium? Title, I'm pretty down on this team. Do you have any reason to give me cheer, or am I absolutely right that this season's a disaster and it's not turning around anytime soon?
I mean, I gotta take an L on these Raiders too. I thought they were like a dark horse to win the Super Bowl. When I saw their number, obviously they were in a strong division, or what we thought for sure. And that's where the number was baked in. But man, 0-3 start. Brutal. All I got to say is Matt Collins. I am so tilted with that, man. He gets there in DFS as mega chalk on DK. His last touchdown was the reason I did swap, cost me a bunch of cheese. Matt Collins, that's gonna bug me for a little bit because, man, I did not know Matt Collins was Devontae Adams when they switched jerseys.
I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Josh McDaniels is not looking good right now. And Joey, when we were talking about the Chiefs, you brought up their rushing yards. Raiders are averaging over 5.5 yards a carry, but they have the same amount of attempts, 16. So, I mean, if you're KC, it makes sense. Hey, why would I keep running it if I'm not getting any yards, right? But for Las Vegas, they had absolutely no reason. So that'll be a running theme on the show. We won't spend too much time on it. The Panthers got a win over the Saints. That one didn't really surprise us, right, Tyler? But we just didn't want to back Baker Mayfield, but we stayed away. I don't think Jameis is healthy. And Dennis Allen might be having some problems with this team as well. What are your takeaways on the Saints and the Panthers, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, Jameis isn't 100% healthy, but the other thing I've noticed over the last few weeks, Spread, that leash that Sean Payton had him on where he wasn't throwing any interceptions, that's gone. Because even in some of those catches he had, like Marquez Callaway, one-handed catch in the end zone, Winston didn't even think twice to throw that ball into 4 guys dressed in white jerseys yesterday. He just lobbed it up and just said, screw it. If they pick it, they pick it. So he's going downhill. I think they should be playing Dalton right now with Winston even banged up. But the other thing, Spread, is this team doesn't own their first-round pick.
It's going to Philly.
Yep. And Philly's looking like they're about to storm through the league. And right now they still have the 6th overall top pick. And if this Saints team just keeps working their way down the standings, that Philly juggernaut's just going to add another key piece to it come draft time.
Well, to be fair, they're going to get some nice games being able to play Atlanta. And then, of course,
I will be on the Saints this week, though, Spread. You want to know why?
Why?
Because the game's in London, and it's Kirk Cousins. If he can't play at he can only play at 1 p.m., what are you going to do when you push him backwards to where he has to play at 9:30 a.m.?
Maybe that'll make him even better. Can't get worse, eh?
I mean, he can pull Monday night.
Yeah. Joey, what are your thoughts here on the Panthers and the Saints, right? NFC South, like we expected, probably not going to be doing much in the way of competing for Super Bowls.
Yeah, Baker stinks. He's obviously on a leash. Obviously, they let Winston go, but I know they said they were going to let Winston go. They're going to let him have a little more confidence in him, and they did let him go. Threw 2 interceptions, almost 3 interceptions. But he's definitely hurt. His back hurts. They said that coming into this week that he's going to play through it, but he has something's going on with his back. It is what it is. I don't think either of these teams are really good. I do think the Saints probably win some games at home. A lot of games, I prefer them at home. But Carolina is a fraud for sure. That was their first win. Baker threw the ball 20 times. They mainly ran the ball. They had a lot of success on the ground. So that's going to be their game plan going forward. If they stop the run, we'll try. Baker can try some things, but I'm really not high on the Panthers at all. I actually think that the Saints will be long-term will be the better of the two teams.
Yeah, I can't argue. I think the Panthers definitely benefited from being at home there. But Tyler, we thought the Saints team was going to be fun for fantasy. Hasn't been fun so far. What do you expect? What do you take away?
Well, it has been for Olave. Man, the air yards finally translated in some points there for DFS. And Jameis just stares him down and he throws him the rock. So he's the one that I'll keep playing for the Saints. Not going to mess with Kamara. I mean, pretty much only Olave for the Saints. And then, man, I mean, such donkeys in Carolina. I mean, McCaffrey, the dude, they hand the ball off, and it's just literally right through the tackles every single time. Baker does not check it down to him. Baker just looks downfield. Like, it's so tilted. McCaffrey was absolutely ruined. I mean, 2 years ago, anytime he's been healthy, he's just been a free 25 piece in DFS. And now he's almost unrosterable because of these donkeys coaches and Baker Mayfield. So, and you
when does the price go down? He's been the second highest guy on the board almost every.
I mean, yeah, even when it gets like wide receivers are just so alpha nowadays.
What does he have to be for you to play him? Say he's 7K next week.
I mean, yeah, I'm playing him at 7K for sure. So something around there. The thing is, like the wide receiver, like Cooper Kupp, Jefferson, Amon St. Brown, like it's just paying up for wide receiver. Just like, I mean, that's just how the league is right now. And then they win the football game, and outside of Laviska Shenault's, I mean, his touchdown where he just got it and he ran for 70 yards or whatever it was. Your second leading receiver, Shee Smith, 2 catches for 22 yards, 1 catch 15 yards, 1 catch 14 yards. Like, man, how do you lose that game if you're the Saints?
Yeah, really rough going for Dennis Allen. And hey, just like Broncos fans warned us about Josh McDaniels, we kind of had the similar reservations about Dennis Allen. He's going to have to turn things around there quick and not let this get out of control because, like you said, that's a tough loss. They had a really chance to put away a team in their division, and they failed to take advantage of that. A team that did not fail to do that, though, was the Philadelphia Eagles. Not only did they win, they embarrassed their rivals. That was a dominating performance for Washington. For Philadelphia. Washington looks absolutely terrible, and the whole stadium felt like it was Philadelphia fans. Tyler, what'd you think of that one?
Yeah, I mean, Philly's looking like every bit of what we talked about in the preview show spread. They have this nice soft schedule, and they're just going to pound these teams all year. They're going to be able to run the ball on everybody. It doesn't look like there's many pass defenses going to be able to stop A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Quez Watkins. And then you add in Dallas Goedert, hurts his running element also. This team's going to be very tough to beat. And I thought more of their front seven was going to be the push on that defensive side. Once they picked up Gardner Johnson from the Saints right before the season started, that secondary became just as good as the front seven. Their defense is going to finish top 3 in the league. So this team is going to be very tough to beat. Very interested to see where they finish. I think they might be the 1 seed in the NFC when this is all done.
And the great thing about it, if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, is Jalen Hurts continues to defy all the criticism of his game and just get it done. So, hey, that's a rival for you guys there, Joey. Are you going to tell us to pump the brakes on all this Philadelphia Eagles love, or are you on the bandwagon?
No, they're quite good. But don't get me wrong, they beat the fucking Commanders.
Right.
I mean, let's not look too much into that,
It's essentially a home game too, if you listen to the crowd.
I'm sure it was. Yeah. And they have quite an easy schedule coming. I think they play Jacksonville next week. So I mean, this team's gonna start off hot, everyone's gonna be high on them, and then we just take the points with the other teams. Not that hard. The Giants will be playing them week 6, getting 10.5. I mean, lock it down now because that's a win. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see. Let's watch this team play on an actual road game before we start, ejaculating all over the place. But God bless. Good. I mean, Philly fans, they're probably top 5 worst in NFL past the Cowboys. Maybe that's a little biased, maybe not. But this team's good. Don't get me wrong, the team's good. But wait till they play, some real competition, all right?
I was about to say that real road game you're looking for.
Yeah, where is
it? It ain't on the schedule.
Right? See what I'm saying?
Their away games: Arizona, Houston, Indianapolis, the Giants, Chicago,
Indy's a good home
Dallas.
team.
I was gonna say it's got to be Indy. Sounds like the best one.
You're gonna put that team in a dome and let them just charge a statue at quarterback.
But it'll at least be a road
luck.
game, right?
Good
I mean,
luck.
they're not going to fill up in Indianapolis Stadium, I don't think. But you got some great points there. So, Title, going to have to cancel all those dates tonight. Joey said you can't ejaculate yet. What are your thoughts on the Eagles and the Commanders?
Oh, that's a good one, Spread. The point you made, Spread, is like not victory lap or nothing, but everyone was chirping Hurts for these past 2 years and all of that. He's 24 years old. Like, I've been on the Hurts train. I like athletic quarterbacks. You finally get him A.J. Brown. You get right. Like, finally people are realizing, like, Hurts is not just a garbage time DFS fantasy quarterback. He's a quarterback. He's 24 years old. Like, he's going to get better. People are now seeing it. So good for Jalen Hurts, because there was a lot of talk, a lot of critics out there, and I thought definitely we're on the wrong side, and he's proving people wrong. But, yeah, they beat the Commanders. Like, they did what they had to do.
No, I got to go find the clip of this, Spread, because we asked this question last year, and it was a resounding Tua. Out of those 3 quarterbacks that were in that quarterback room in Alabama, which is the least one you would want now? It's probably Mac Jones, isn't it?
Oh, it's for sure Mac Jones.
Yeah, everybody last year was like threw Tua right down the drain. Nobody wanted him.
Well,
everyone thought Mac Jones was going to be this thing now.
And that also shows you get a guy like Tyreek. Waddle does his thing. You get a good coach.
You get a good coach. That's the biggest key.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, he's just in an overpowered situation. I think. I mean, it's not like if we switch Tua with Derek Carr, I think the Raiders still might be 0-3. So.
I agree with. I think I agree with that. I don't know. That's close.
It's the best situation that you could possibly be in. But speaking of good situations. Talk about going from one of the worst coaches in NFL history to one of the best coaches in the current NFL. Trevor Lawrence has to be loving life in an actual professional football organization after all that disaster last year. And Brandon Staley, man, I think that's a tough look for yourself and your organization. This is not the NBA. The players don't run things. I don't care that Justin Herbert said that he wanted to go out there. This is where it's time for you to hold people accountable. And you're the boss for a reason. You can't just let your players dictate to you when they're obviously hurt. And that's what I saw from Justin Herbert yesterday. And it's not just about winning the game. And nothing worse happened. But the risk definitely outweighed the reward there, and having Justin Herbert going down there. Another questionable decision from the Chargers organization. But that doesn't surprise me, who left their loyal fan base in San Diego to just go be completely ignored and be like, less popular than Cal State Fullerton up in LA. So another bad decision from a bad organization. Chargers, great roster. Not a lot else to say about them. Do we give credit to the Jaguars here, Tyler, or do I just keep piling on the Chargers for all their bad decisions?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, Chargers are getting killed by injuries, which we all knew was going to come because they've been cursed for 15 years. Every year they lose a bunch of guys. Who was it? J.C. Jackson was down before a game. Keenan Allen didn't play. Herbert was definitely less than 50%. Then they lose
tackle for the year.
Yeah, they lose Rashawn Slater to torn biceps for the year. That's a big one. Joey Bosa went down in that game also. So this team's just getting ravaged by injuries. But I also think the Jags are getting a lot better. That contract that everyone gave Christian Kirk shit for spreads looking like a steal now.
Yeah.
Lawrence is zipping the ball around a lot better than he did last year with this actual coach here. And their running game looks great, led by Robinson instead of Etienne. So this team's going to be a tough beat, and they have 2 edge rushers that are getting the quarterback. So I think they might steal that division with Tennessee being what they are and the Colts just sucking. So I like the Jags where they're going.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about Jacksonville yesterday, Joey. What did you think? Is that am I too down on this Chargers team?
I just think maybe that whole division is a little overrated. I know everyone coming in, everyone's like, oh, this division's great. Maybe it's a little overrated. But what it said, Herbert was hurt coming into the game, right? They only ran the ball 12 times. I get they were down.
That's what I was going to say.
I get they were down to start, but what are we doing? The guy's hurt. And past that, on the other end, they couldn't stop the run. Jacksonville ran the ball 36 times, 151 rushing yards, over four yards per carry. So even James Robinson,
that's been a yearly reoccurrence for the Chargers.
Well, he sets up his defense like that. he wants you to run on him, and teams are taking advantage of it. It's
Yeah.
another bad coaching.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they were down early. So, I mean, Jacksonville, definitely sneaky potential in Jacksonville. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is only going to get better from last year. New coach, and as you said, so they are sneaky. That division is somewhat up for grabs, too. So they can definitely compete for the division moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, Chargers probably one of the most talented rosters in the NFL here, Title. But I worry about the leadership. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not writing them off yet, but first of all, yeah, I mean, Herbert definitely.
You can't with that roster.
Yeah,
you can't write them off.
Yeah,
you can.
Keenan, like Tyler said,
yeah, you can, because if they ain't playing in warm weather come January, they ain't winning.
Interesting.
But I mean, yeah, like Joey said, I mean, Herbert shouldn't even have played, and when he does play, like you only run the ball 11 times, like so you're just, and then they're down 38-10, and 3 minutes left, and he's still in the game trying to drive. Like, well, what are you doing? So I agree with the Jaguars, though. I mean, when you have a real coach and you get rid of a complete, like a guy that makes your team a million times worse, you got Trevor Lawrence, who's been a winner wherever he's been. ETN comes back, first round pick who didn't play all year. The James Robinson, like get Christian Kirk. The pieces, they're finally starting to show up. Defense playing well. So they're a solid football team going the right direction for sure.
Tyler, not much on the Falcons Seahawks. We thought the Falcons were the better team, but to be honest, that game felt like it could go either way. Maybe the biggest surprise is that it went over. What were your thoughts?
No, I mean, happy for the DFS guys. Kyle Pitts finally had a decent game.
Yeah.
And then Drake London looked like a stud. But outside of that, I mean, there's not much to take out of this game. Maybe sprinkle on Drake London to win Offensive Rookie of the Year with the way he's looking.
Joy, what did you think of the Falcons and the Seahawks?
I mean, if Geno Smith is throwing the ball 44 times, you're not going to win the game. I'm sorry. This guy's been a career backup. Now he comes over here playing. I get it. He's playing with the 12th man, but they shouldn't be throwing the ball 44 times with Geno. It's not like they were like down early. It was basically, back and forth game. At halftime, they were up. So why were we not running the ball? They had success on the ground too. They averaged almost five yards a carry on the ground. The Falcons I think they're both pretenders, really. The Falcons are pretenders. The Seahawks, if they're not playing at home, the Seahawks are probably going to lose every game on the road. So
yeah, I don't think anyone expects much from this team either. But Title did have fantasy implications. How did that Falcons Seahawks stack work out for everybody?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. It didn't win slates or anything. You needed Hurts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mariota missed Kyle Pitts early too. He had 2 steps on the guy deep. I mean, it could have been a 70, 60-yard touchdown or at least a 50-yard catch. But 2 teams I don't expect much of. So the game went fine. I mean, I don't really know what to say about this game.
Yeah, we'll be quick on it. Reminder, these breakdowns are brought to you by runpuresports.com. Head on over, use that promo code NFL15. And if you just joined us, do us a quick favor, give us the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Hey, throw out a retweet too. We would appreciate it. The Rams beat the Cardinals. Hey, me and Hoop got back in the victory column with our anti-Kyler Murray takes. He looked pretty lost out there against this top Rams defense. I'd say the biggest disappointment is I don't think the Cardinals defense is that good, and I don't think the Rams offense sufficiently took advantage of it. Stafford's still not looking good. Still look like they're missing Odell Beckham. Allen Robinson has not been the answer. But, hey, they ran the ball pretty well with Cam Akers. I thought they should have won by more, though. Should have been an easier win. What did you think of the Rams and the Cardinals?
Was that for me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But most I think about it, the Cardinals, we're just going to keep fading them. Kyler's calling out his receivers after the game. He says you need to be awake when you play with them because I guess one of the guys just stopped on their routes, and he got real pissed off about that. So locker room problems in Arizona. I don't think Hopkins coming back in a few weeks is going to save this team. I'm just going to keep fading them spread. They weren't even able to put up a touchdown in that game. Like, when you have a quarterback like this and you can't move the ball, it's going to be a problem. So I'm just going to keep fading them. And as for the Rams, just keep giving me Cooper Kupp to score a touchdown and then win a game when they're in a nice spot like that. Because you got plus 115 on that yesterday.
Yeah, that was a great pick by you and Kurt. On Talking Touchdowns on Friday, guys, remember we do this on Monday and Friday. Monday's the review, Friday's the preview, but don't worry, we will go over Monday Night Football tonight. What did you think of the Rams and the Cardinals, Joey?
Somewhat what I expected, the Rams to win. Close game. I'm not as down on the Cardinals as Tyler is. I do think they're going to surprise some teams, and probably at the end of the year they'll probably be fighting for a wild card spot. I personally think Kyler's just doing video game type stuff every week in and week out. I mean, he did throw the ball a shit ton, almost 60 times. Obviously, they were down to start, but it's not like they were getting blown out. The game was somewhat, I think it was 13-6 at halftime, so it was somewhat still close. And James Conner's having a lot of trouble here, so they are having some trouble. But otherwise, it is somewhat what I expected in the game.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm down. I'm with Tyler. I'm down on this organization. I feel jealous of 49ers fans having them in the organization. I think they gave too much money to their quarterback, and they've invested in the wrong coach. Kingsbury couldn't even win in college, and he hasn't really shown much to me in the NFL. Title, am I wrong?
No, I'm with you and Tyler. I mean, you can't run the football, and I think your defense is overrated. It's going to be tough for you to win football games. I thought the score was – I thought the Rams should have won by more. Thought the score was closer than it really was. I mean, yeah, like I said, you can't run the football. Kyler has to drop back almost 60 times. That's a problem.
And this offense should be better for fantasy, and it's not.
No, the thing is, like, Hollywood Brown, 14 for 140. Like, I have.
I'm talking about the Rams.
Oh, the Rams. Yeah. Cooper Kupp, you can just play him every week.
But the whole offense should be there. Sean McVay's, right? Supposed to be the best.
Well, so now finally Cam Akers. So because it was like the Henderson thing week 1. Kind of a split week 2. Cam Akers is their guy, and the numbers last week showed it. I think it's going to continue. So I think he is at least viable. Higbee at tight end can always fill out spots. They just didn't run that many plays. I don't know the exact numbers, but the Cardinals just had the ball. It seemed like forever. You can always play Cooper Kupp, Higbee. Yeah, I think the Rams still have some viable pieces on offense, but yeah, I'm with you guys on the Cardinals.
The highlight game of the afternoon was the Packers defeating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady coming up short on the 2-point conversion after a delayed game penalty. And then Aaron Rodgers said the tablet showed the play, which might have something to do with why they snuffed it out completely. Aaron Rodgers gets the win, only 14-12, though. Tyler, neither offense on the same page shows that even the best quarterbacks in the world do need above average wide receivers. What did you take away from that game?
Yeah, I mean, we got our plays home on that one, Spread. We went with the kickers and their over field goals. I mean, that's the perfect game we got for it. They drove the ball down once the field got tight, and either team could punch it into the end zone. Tampa Bay's defense, however, in that first half, they got beat by every short slant that Green Bay threw and just worked the ball down the field, kept it working, and then scored touchdowns. I guess in the second half, they just changed their whole scheme because then Green Bay couldn't do much of anything. It's just Tampa with no receivers, and they kind of just keyed in on Fournette. Couldn't run the ball, throwing it to Cole Beasley. Russell Gage is catching it and then fumbling it. Can't do much in those situations. So once they get their guys back, I think Tampa will be able to put up some points. And with a defense like that, they're still going to be a Super Bowl contender in this NFC.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to get down on these quarterbacks too much because both these defenses are definitely top 10, might be top 5. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Tampa's defense, definitely. I think they're probably about top 5. Yeah, it was a close game, somewhat what I expected. I did think probably the Packers win the game, but I definitely not writing off Tampa Bay. They're definitely a good team. I think both these teams are good. I do think Green Bay probably wins their division, and then Tampa's going to definitely fight for the division, likely wins it as well. So these are, 2 of the top 5 probably teams in the NFC. So it is somewhat what I expected, but Andrew, very disappointing with my background. He said, bro, I'm at my new office. So, I am not at my home office. I'm at the new office. I'll get something up there. Don't worry. But yeah, that's what's going on. All right, bro.
Title, your team got the win. How are you feeling?
Yeah, a good win on the road against the Buccaneers, who have always Todd Bowles has always given Aaron Rodgers problems. I mean, man, the offense looks so good early, all the way up until Aaron Jones fumbles at the 1. I mean, it easily could have had 21. Rodgers was looking great. Bowles made adjustments. I mean, the Packers, when you have all these receivers out, Romeo Doubs look good, which everyone in Green Bay has been excited for them, which is nice to see. But they're run-first football team at the end of the day, and Buccaneers stopped the run. 12 for 36 on the ground for Jones, 12 for 32 for Dillon, and you find a way to win that football game. So you need to win those games. Defense played great. It's a big win. Wasn't very pretty, but it counts as a win against Tom Brady. So happy to rebound after the slow start.
All right, pulling up this next game. I feel like I'm about to get jumped into a gang or something, right? So, Title, we'll start with you. The 49ers lose 11-10. And 2 of those points came from Jimmy G stepping out of the end zone on a safety. Before you guys beat me up, because I already know it's coming, I'd just like to point out that this team completely outcasted this guy and all training camp and everything. He didn't get any reps with these guys. He's over there throwing to like some assistant coach in shorts that looks like me to get ready. He's only had 1 week with the team, and he's even admitted that he's not in game shape. So I think he will get better. But for now, all I have to do is take the L.
Before Title goes, I wish I could have hit the
Tyler.
rewind
Start.
button. But when you said that he's been outcasted, what about last week, Spur, when you were celebrating them, picking him up after he scored the touchdown? They're all smiling and happy. You're like, he's back with the boys. Now he's out. Now he's outcasted.
The coaching staff did.
He's outcasted now.
The coaching staff did that. He wasn't allowed. He wasn't allowed in any training camp. He wasn't taking reps as the number.
Yeah, but what was that last week when he looked so great against them Seahawks? And you're like, oh, there we go, Super Bowl. They
still got a great chance. He's going to just get better. It can't get any worse than that.
That's the point. It can't get any worse. I mean, it could have got worse. That safety was actually beneficial because he threw a pick six.
Gotta be the first time someone's ever gotten a safety and thrown a pick six on the same play.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, Trey Lance ain't losing that football game. Spread.
Oh my gosh.
Fred, I don't know if you're losing that football game. Joey's definitely not losing that game. Tyler's not losing that game. I mean, come on, man. How defense can't play any better? What are you doing, Jimmy G? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I mean, the Broncos do have a pretty good defense. All right, Tyler, go ahead. Get your hits in.
No, I mean, he pretty much got everything, but we talked about this team maybe getting to the Super Bowl spread. If he's going to play like that, they don't have a chance.
He's going to get better.
He can't get worse. He can't get worse. He literally can't.
Yeah, I'm about to say he can't get much worse. The way I look at it, they try to use Ayuk a little bit too much. I think they should just pelt Debo and Kittle with the ball more. But you got to kind of keep Kittle in now if Trent Williams is also hurt, which is going to be a big blow to this team. So I'm not as high on him. We could see if your guy Jimmy G gets his shit together, but I don't think he will.
Joey, what are your thoughts on the 49ers and the Broncos?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. I watched till halftime, fell asleep, so I missed that whole I did watch, ESPN this morning, so I saw him running out of the back of the end zone. But both teams are middle of the pack, I think. I think Russ and that team will probably get better. The Broncos, the Niners should win some games. Jimmy G is just like a game manager. He's just going to manage the game. Doesn't really stick out, doesn't really totally impress me. But I do think, I think they're going to be a little worse than people think. I think they're going to be fighting for probably a wild card spot come the end of the year. And the Broncos likely probably be in that same situation, fighting for a wild card spot. Not sure, probably on the outside looking in come the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Rams haven't looked that good either. And I'm really down on Arizona and Seattle. So the Niners might have an easier path. And the Broncos' path might have just got a little easier too, right? With if Herbert's going to be out for a significant amount of time, or they're going to continue to run him out here at 50%, they just lost a left tackle. The Niners did lose their left tackle though, so that's going to be rough. We'll see how it goes. And boy, this might end up being one of my worst takes of all time. And you guys can just run victory laps until the end of the NBA season. But there we have it. That's how. This week went. Let's jump straight into tonight. The reason we brought Joey on, because we didn't expect this, but Joey did, that the New York Giants would be 2-0 heading into Monday Night Football. This game's a pick'em going against the Dallas Cowboys with backup quarterback Cooper Rush. Total, what is it now? It was 39 when I did my other show this morning. It's 38.5 now. They're not expecting much scoring. Joey, I didn't know what to make of this game, but I had a good conversation with my buddy Five Star this morning when we did our other show, and he made good points there about the Giants. Basically, that Dallas might be overvalued with the backup quarterback also going on the road. They did have a lot of things go right last week. But Tyler, I know that you are on the opposite side. We'll start with you, Tyler. What? Ooh, I love
You
it.
gotta go
Actually,
back.
no.
You gotta. You
Now
gotta
we
go
gotta
back
go to
him.
Joey.
Yeah, you gotta
Let's
go back
hear
to
it.
him.
I think the Giants are in a great spot tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a fucking whiteout at the Meadowlands. Daniel Dimes, keep sleeping on Danny Dimes. All I see is slander on Twitter on Danny Dimes. Guess what? Mr. Game Manager is 2-0, and at the end of the game, I watch every single snap of every single game these first two games. The end of the game last week, it's like 3rd and 6. He's struggling. Nobody's open. He runs, gets the first down. Game over. Danny Dimes, game manager, dubs. What's going to happen tonight? Cooper Rush. Did we watch the game last week? The first half. Oh, he looked good the first half. They didn't score any points the second half. They stopped the dump downs. Shitty quarterbacks. They throw it to the tight end and the friggin' running back. They stopped that. Boom. They scored 3 points. And they made a game-winning field goal at the end of the game. That's the only points they scored in the second half. Guess what? The Giants are getting back Azeez Ojulari tonight. Never hasn't played a game yet this year. Also, first-round draft pick, Kayvon Thibodeau will be back tonight. This is definitely going to be low scoring. Give me the Giants. Slide in the DMs if you want the friggin' Cowboys. I'll take the Giants on the money line. Slide in if you want the Cowboys. So Giants money line, Giants -1, whatever the hell you want. Also, my one prop here is Tony Pollard over 2.5 receptions. All right. Mr. Dump Down is going to dump down Pollard. The Giants DVOA against running backs, 30th in the league. Pollard, I think he got like nine looks last week, 9 attempts toward him last week. He had like 4 receptions. He's going to keep dumping it off. Him and Schultz. It's going to be him and Schultz show. So that's where I'm at. But slide the hell in. Slide in, Nate. Steve, slide in.
I think he makes a great argument, Tyler. And
I don't. First of all, I don't even think Dalton Schultz is going to play.
Are we short of 2 edge rushers for the Giants are playing?
I'll pull up the injury report right now. But go ahead, Tyler. Is this going to be a Kirk Cousins-esque breakdown? Because I know that you've seen that number, right?
What, the interception number?
He's 0-10 on primetime, too.
I mean, it's a big number. But the thing here, too, is Michael Parsons is dealing with the flu spread. I can't bet this game pregame, knowing that monster on Dallas' side might not be 100%.
Don't tell the people that. We want you to back the Cowboys so the people get a little confidence and they slide in.
The other thing, too, is Cooper Rush, 2-0 as a starter. Everyone thinks he's going to be the quarterback that makes mistakes tonight. In his 2 starts, 1 interception, 93.5 quarterback rating average. Like, dude's a pretty good game manager. There's going to be 2 game managers on the field tonight. If both teams get the pass rush going, if Michael Parsons is good enough to get out there, those 2 guys get out there for the Giants, I'm betting the field goals in this game. Over 3.5 field goals plus 120. Give me that all day. I could see both these offenses driving it down the field. Field gets tight. Neither team's able to score a touchdown. I like the field goals over here. I'm going to stay away from the side. And my props in this game, Daniel Jones loves him some Richie James. He's targeted him 6 times in both games. He's caught in 5 balls in both, 50 yards in each game. His prop set at 35.5. I know it's supposed to be low scoring, but somebody's got to move the ball for him. Jones is going to close in on 200 passing yards, so that over 35.5, I'm on that. And I'm betting him to have the most receiving yards also at 8-1, because there's a possibility that 60 yards leads receiving in this game tonight. If CeeDee Lamb can't get going with Cooper Rush and Richie James catches 5 to 6 balls, he could easily lead this game in receiving at 8-1. And there's also a special on BetMGM, him to have 5+ receptions at 3-1. I'm on that. He's gotten 5 receptions in both of his first games.
All right. What do you think there, Title? Who do you like tonight?
I mean, I'm not even going to break that. I don't know. Who the hell knows? Definitely not betting this game. I do like Tyler's favorite thing, though. The field goals, I think it's a lot. I just hope it's a better football game than yesterday. Entertainment-wise, it's hard to get worse. But I like what Joey Work said about Pollard, because talking DFS-wise, he is my favorite Cowboy in tournaments. I think he gets overlooked a little bit. Very explosive. I like what Tyler said about Richie James. He's my favorite Giants wide receiver. I like Richie James in the captain, pair him with Danny Dimes in the flex. Pollard is the run back, and you got plenty salary to work with. So I'm not even going to try and break down Cowboys, Giants, lean aside. Like, if you're betting this and you're not either wearing what Joey Work's wearing right now or wearing the other team what Joey Work's wearing, I don't know why you're betting aside in this one.
All right, I'm looking at the inactive report right now. It was supposed to come out at 12:45 my time, and I don't see it. Maybe it's 3:45 Pacific time. I don't know. I don't see it. All I see is Gallup's going to be out. Do any of you guys have anything on the inactive report?
I see it's not looking good for Schultz, for Dalton Schultz. So I'm not expecting.
I see props popping up for the backup tight end. So I expect him not to play. But as for the 3 edge rushers we're most worried about, I think all 3 of them are questionable right now.
Maybe when I'm reading these articles that they're making it Pacific time, maybe my brain just thinks it's 12:45. I guess 3:45 would be, or that'd be 6:45 for you guys. So, boy, Title, that's going to be rough, right? Going right up until loss, not knowing these things. How does the edge rushers affect how you would play this at all?
I mean, no, I think it's going to be low scoring anyway.
Thibodeau's in, and Azajalari. They're both playing. The only one that might not play is Leonard Williams.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like I'm not expecting to. I like kickers. I like Pollard. Of course, you can play CeeDee Lamb if you want to spend up there. Saquon's going to be higher owned. Like, leave salary. I mean, you can leave plenty of salary in this game for sure. I mean, the highest scoring. I told you the highest score on the slate was Richie James today, would anyone be surprised? I wouldn't be. So
this game might be a little more high scoring than you're expecting, Title, but we'll see how.
Well, I'm not saying it. Well, even if it is, like, I'm not going to jam in both defenses or jam in both kickers. Like, I'm going to have skill positions. So I'm expecting, like, even yesterday, Melvin Gordon had one of the worst games, and up until that last fumble, Melvin Gordon captain was the optimal in that game. Obviously, it was only 11-10, but
yeah,
I mean, you're not expecting 28-24 or something like that, are you, spread? Like a 21-17,
no, but I think it's going to go
24?
over.
Okay.
I think the game will be in the 40s.
So if you think that, fade both defenses.
Noli shows up right when I say that. Sorry, Noli.
Fade both defenses for sure. Then if you think that they're going to be over-owned, I actually do probably lean the fade defenses because they're going to be high-owned. Play one kicker at most and then fill out with skill position players.
Yeah, and you're probably fading Zeke, right, if you're running Pollard?
Yeah, definitely not playing Pollard and Zeke.
Zeke sucks, bro.
Yeah,
Zeke
Pollard's been better for over a year now is how I look at it.
I don't understand why they paid Zeke. Pollard is definitely the better of the two.
I feel like this is one of them things where, like, Pollard looks better when he gets 8 to 9 rushes. Now when we give him 15 to 16, it's like, oh, they both suck.
We've seen that in the NBA before too, right, Tyler?
Where guys it's like you catch guys in little spurts. It's like, oh, he looks great, but it's like once he gets the full role, he just can't do it.
Well, it's going to be hard for either. I mean, Cooper. At the end of the day, Cooper Rush is your quarter. Like, they're going to be hunting that run game. Make Cooper Rush beat you. So it's hard. It's going to be hard for either of them to look good today. But I like Pollard's receiving upside more.
What about CeeDee Lamb? He's sitting here at 10-2 in the non-captain spot, just in the flex. He's pretty high price, but there's not a lot of other good options. What are you thinking?
And I think he's going to be popular too.
He did get peppered last week too. He got 10 targets last week.
Yeah, he's probably going to be. Again, he's going to be one of the highest owned players for sure on this slate. So that's why I like leaving salary. Like, if you go from CeeDee Lamb all down and you go to a Noah Brown or something, of course, it sounds so gross, but if they do outscore, you go from the $20,000 chop to $1 million in your pocket, just little things like that. So I'll probably be underweight on CeeDee Lamb.
Don't be afraid of Tolbert tonight either. He is playing.
Exactly, or a Tolbert or something like that. I mean, Jake Ferguson at tight end, all these fillers at tight ends. But I like the core, Richie James captain, Danny Dimes, Pollard. You got plenty of salary. You can go to CD, you can go to Saquon, you can go to whoever you want after that.
Yeah, what is this guy? What is this guy Natisfy smoking? Dallas -10 plus 325, bro. Slide in for the money line. Never mind -10. This ain't even -10. You're giving away money. You're donating money to the bookie betting that. Donate to a charity rather than bet that, man.
Joey, besides Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, who would be the guy you think we should target on the Giants side for DFS?
I don't know. They're swapping in different tight ends all the time. Obviously, Sterling Shepard has been the most targeted wide receiver. But again, I'm pretty sure that Wan'Dale Robinson's definitely out. And I'm pretty sure what's his name's not going to play either.
Tony's out.
Tony's not going to play either.
And Kenny
so-
Galladay,
He's
hopefully he gets traded. So my basketball team
Darius
looks a little
Slayton
better.
might be in the stands tonight. Like,
Yeah, he's played
That's
like
what I'm
4.
saying. It has
he
to be
played
Richie James or Shepard.
Yeah, he played like 4 snaps last week. And then who's the other guy? Sills. Sills is another guy that gets some targets, a bigger target. He's not terrible if you want to sneaky play Kenny Sills. But that's where the offense is at.
David Sills, 5K.
David Sills, yeah.
All right, there we go. Maybe get overweight on David Sills. I don't think ownership will be there.
I think Joey's got the right idea though. They should probably go sign Kenny Stills because they need a wide receiver.
I was gonna say that's what I was like, man, give him Kenny Stills.
I think Odell Beckham's going to be in attendance tonight. So maybe if the Giants go 3-0, they'd be like, hey man, you want to come play?
He's making his tour in literally every single team and just seeing where can I get them.
He's just waiting it out to when he can pinpoint a team. Like, all right, here comes their Super Bowl run. Now I'm gonna jump on the ship.
Exactly. He's going everywhere. He's just loving life.
What do you think of this take? Saquon and Zeke will be in all the winning lineups tonight. Title. What do you think?
I mean, 2 starting running backs. Obviously, I like the Pollard side more, but I'm not going to call you crazy at all.
Do you think you'd be chopping though if you made that build?
I mean, you can always.
There's no way you'd be.
You leave $3,000 on the table with those 2. You fade Cooper Rush and Danny. Like, there's always ways to get unique. You could say You could even say Saquon and CeeDee Lamb, 2 of the highest owner. Danny Dimes, all that, and you can still find unique lineups with those for sure.
All right, cool. I like your Pollard idea a little better as well.
I do too, but I don't mind it's not crazy, that's for sure.
Yeah, Native5 said he can't bet in Wisconsin, wherever he's at. But you could bet me in Wisconsin. You could bet heads up versus me. You don't have to bet versus the bookmaker.
You know there's offshore books too, right?
Yeah, you could bet versus me. We don't need it.
He can go
Come
to
on,
Oneida.
I wouldn't even be able to
Oneida.
bet if I had that attitude. Native5, you got to get things done. Adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
Bitcoin, learn about it. You can do this. All right, Tyler. That's it for our review and preview.
A couple before you wrap it up. A couple other
I knew
props.
you had some more stuff. Give me what you got.
They're not up yet, but they're gonna populate because their receiving yards are up. Guys like Bellinger, not as much Sills, but Bellinger, Hudson, and if you get Ferguson, which was up earlier on DK and they yanked it off in less than 5 minutes. If you can get these guys longest reception like under like 10.5, 11.5 yards, even 9.5. These guys might not catch a pass tonight. In a game, we don't think there's going to be a ton of scoring. Daniel Jones might throw to the same 3 guys all game. And Cooper Rush might just pepper CeeDee Lamb again. So I'm looking for those guys unders on their longest receptions for sure tonight.
Unders on the longest receptions. All right, Joey. Actually, we'll go to Joey last. Title. Any words of wisdom before we get out of here? And then we'll let Joey work. Give the final message to the people before we turn this over to, I think JSU's going on at 4:45. So we're going to give you guys a little bit of time to go to the bathroom, make a drink, leave work, whatever you need to do. And then the Showdown show will begin. What else you got for us, Title?
I just want to see a fired up Joey Work video on Twitter later, whether they win or lose. Any results, he better be fired up. I'll say 45-second minimum video. That's what I want from Joey Work tonight. I'll be on the lookout.
That might have been the best take of the show. Joey Work. Well, how about this? I'll let everyone know about runpuresports.com right now. If you're not a member, you should be. I won't go too far into it, but the promo code's NFL15. If you're already a member, use that promo code GetBets. If you need to learn how to use Bitcoin to start using Bookmaker and Bet Online, some great offshore books, jump into my DMs or in the Discord, and I'll get you guys set up so you two can tail Joey Works football, tail Tyler's football props, and Joey Works baseball, and keep making money with the Run Pure team. So now that we've got that out of the way, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Joey, take us out of here.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not first off, if you're not signed up, I don't know what you're doing. All right, Joey, they call it work timber for a reason. 44-35, over up 12 units in baseball this month. So I'm taking it out, and we're betting it on the Giants tonight. -1, money line, whatever the hell you want. I swear, Native Fight, if you don't slide into my DMs, bro, you're going to be in the video that Title asked me to make. Okay, so either way, I will acknowledge Title's request to make a video either way. If the Giants lose or win, I'll videotape it from here, from this office, on my phone. It's going on Twitter. I'll be screaming, win or loss. I might not have a voice, but we're here. Yeah, Giants are the play tonight. If you like the Cowboys, slide in. That's enough, okay? Giants -1, lay it. I saw some guys giving out, bet the Cowboys -0.5 because they might tie. I mean, bro, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Please don't.
What's more dumb, that or -10 like Nadesify wants?
Yeah, Nadesify, he's just trying to, he should donate to charity. Don't even bet the game. Donate to charity, please, buddy. All right, we're here. Uncle Terry's on it in the house. Noli says the under. I don't really care about the under over. Giants win the game. It's a whiteout. They wear all white in Giant Stadium. Stop hating on Danny Dimes. Tonight will be the rest. Nobody will be hating on Danny Dimes after 3-0 this week. All right? It's enough. Allie Mack, too. You're a Giants fan. Stop hating on Danny Dimes.